How come your toes are so cold?
How come your heart is so cold?
I'm warming your toes right now, mister.
I'm trying to warm your heart there, lady. It's the Jack
and Kathy
show.
Shit Show.
And there we go.
Yeah, how was
okay,
that? Did you like
I
that
think
one?
I think if
Okay.
dumbest conversation ever.
No, we've had worse. We've had dumber.
We are dumb and dumber.
Speak for yourself, mister.
I am. I'm both of them.
Don't speak for me, mister.
Okay, lady. Are we going to do the Mr. Lady the whole day then today? Is that what we're doing? Mr. Lady?
Only if you call me dumb.
Oh, boy.
Then we get to the mister.
I don't. It was weird. Ladies and gentlemen, the
Have I
Kathy
shown
Riley
off-
podcast.
Have I shown off my cool coffee mug?
Mm-mm.
For anybody watching YouTube that can see this, or wherever else Jack puts this podcast so that people can also view it, I have my Dave Grohl coffee mug, which is super cool. My friend Tanya Nolan created it. She paints musical artists in such a cool way. And we ran into her at Summerfest, and she had a booth, and she was selling her
She's awesome.
merch.
What's her name again?
Tanya.
Tanya?
T-O.
Do you know her?
N-Y-A.
You know her Insta?
Nolan. Nolan.
Do you know what her Insta is?
I think it's just her name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her Stagra.
Tanya? Yeah.
You keep talking.
She's really, really good. Cool stuff, cool work. She's had her artwork in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Tanya, what's her last name?
Nolan. T-O-N.
T-O-N.
L-A. Y-A.
Spell it for me, please.
T-O-N-Y-A.
Yes.
Oh, there it is. Tanya's Beauty Box.
Is that her?
Well, she's a hair and makeup artist. That's not it. That's her.
That's her.
Yeah. She have her artwork in there? Yeah.
Her artwork's in there, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll show some things. That's her artwork. So go to TONYAS Beauty Box. Oh yeah, there she is. So there's her artwork.
A Madonna one.
There's Madonna. She's got some really cool art.
Really cool stuff.
She was in the you said her stuff's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
That's cool. You know what's a shame? Admittedly, I have to admit this. It's hard for me to take Dave Grohl seriously now.
I know.
Oh, I've got another confession to make.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, dude.
If you haven't heard, Dave Grohl went and got a chick preggers.
So I was talking.
And it's not his wife.
I had lunch with Sam.
Yikes! And he's what, 55?
I had lunch. Well, that's what we do. So give him a break, okay?
Do you think it's easier when you're famous and rich to have a baby? Then do you just like pay someone to wake up with the baby in the middle of the night? Like, is it easier? Because we babysat our grandbaby this weekend.
This is where you're going with this. I thought it was going to be a moral conversation. I thought you were going down a moral.
No, it's hard. It's hard. This is exactly why our bodies have babies when you're young, because it is hard.
You have a term that you call baby lag.
Baby leg, yes, I coined that phrase. Let's make sure it's well documented that I said that word first. Baby leg.
We will
not jet lag. Baby leg. We've experienced baby leg.
May I ask you to move the microphone toward the center of your mouth as opposed to...
Well, because I keep turning my head.
Well,
and last week you told me that it's not...
that's where it's got to be. If you can turn your head, but it's got to be in front of you.
Like I go like this.
No, but
and
you
said,
were over here. So we're no longer getting picked up. It's right there where you want to be. You follow what I'm saying? Because it was right here.
Right, I know, because you said when I turn my head...
I know, but watch. I know, but when you don't turn your head... Go face straight ahead.
Then I got to go like this.
Yeah, but you're not doing that.
Okay, I'll do it.
Face straight ahead.
But most of the time I look at you.
Right there, you still need to have the mic in front of your lips.
Okay. All right. you
can still
position
turn
it.
your head. See how I turn my head, but the mic is still in front of my lip. Okay.
All right.
It's just in post. It gets challenging for the producer, which we know is me. So let's go back to Dave Grohl. I thought you were going down a moral component, and you're talking about how tired you are as a grandparent.
Yeah.
What the frick?
I know. No, I mean, of course, he cheated on his wife. He got somebody else pregnant. That is really, really bad. What's happening?
Do you? Never mind.
Okay.
No, it's right. I'm sorry for being a pain. It's right there. That's in front of your mouth. See, when I look in the video and I see your head to the side of it, here's what I'm watching. I know I'm being a pain right now, but here's what I'm watching. My level's right there on our monitor. Your level's way down here. So then when I get into the studio to post this, I've got to play with your levels to make you sound the same as me.
I understand.
Okay.
That's why I turned it, because last week you told me that when I turn my head, you lose my levels. And so I put it in front of my mouth when I turn my head, because right now I'm not. And this is for me to keep it in front of my face when I turn my head.
That's not in front of your face anymore. You're to the side of the mic. See, the mic is right there. It picks it up right there. I can't believe we're having this discussion.
Isn't the mic all the way around?
No, it's right here.
It's just in that side?
Yes, ma'am. It's right here like this.
It's nowhere else?
It's right here. It's literally right like this. So when you move away over here, it has a harder time picking you up. That's why we want to stay right in front of it.
I know, but then I can't turn my head.
You can turn your head like this. Just imagine. You're such a goof sometimes. We have spent 4 minutes on this topic. You have a tendency to do this. You have a tendency to come over here and move and walk around and stuff. Did you ever see...
Walk around.
Well, did you ever see people...
Do we think that might be a slight exaggeration? You walk around.
It's mildly, but barely. Do you ever see people who aren't used to talking into a microphone and they like hold the mic and then they start moving that mic hand? Right, so they don't realize that the mic has to stay here and they have to stay really still.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you turn your head, see how my mouth is still attached to it? See this? See?
Okay.
As opposed to just turning my head. Imagine the microphone's okay. You're giving me that look. I'm just asking you. It takes me a long time in production.
Okay.
You're just going to... You're such an ass to me sometimes.
I'm going to do what I can. But, when I talk, I really just get in the moment. Maybe I need 2 microphones. Can we talk to production about getting Kathy more than one?
Talk to production. Yes. The next podcast we do, the people will see a video of like 8 mics so you can move everywhere.
So I have freedom to walk around.
Yeah, that won't be harder for me. That'll be even easier.
Aww. Poor baby.
Okay. So Dave Grohl, you're not
Dave
concerned
Grohl,
about his morals?
Well, of course. No, but the first thing is because it's top of mind because we just watched our grandson, who is the cutest.
Oh, he's adorable.
Yummiest. I cannot stop staring at him. You know when you're sitting around a campfire and you just stare at the fire endlessly, or a sunset, or the ocean, or body of water. You can just stare at it all the time. I can stare at him all the time. Like I could waste days just staring at him. He is just delicious. He's so cute, and his cheeks are so kissable, and his toes are so sweet. Oh gosh, he's just so sweet. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was so much fun having him here and being able to spend that amount of time. And I never wanted to put him down, even when my neck was cramping and my arm was asleep.
And you had to pee.
And I had to pee. I was like, I've had to pee for an hour and a half. But I don't want to get up because
he took
this
a
child
nap
is sleeping.
after lunch in your arms for an hour and 40 minutes.
At least.
And Alex is listening right now going, thank you for making me have all these baby sleep problems because my kid's used to being held for a nap.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I really think that they sense when you're not at home anymore. Like the kids are I know. I remember that from when my kids were little.
What do you mean?
They get used to home. The majority of their time is home. And when you change
You
locations,
think
I
the
feel
baby
on
does?
some level they know something's different and it's just off.
At this age?
Yes.
At 8 weeks?
Yes. Yeah. I feel like my mic is way far away right now.
Oh,
But
God. Far away from what? Me?
I don't know.
What do you mean it feels far away?
It's like I go long distance when I turn my head.
You mean
I have
like
to
you're
go,
far away from me, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
like
watch here. We'll do this. We'll move it there. Right there. I can't believe we're having a mic conversation again. Now move closer.
Okay. Watch
Oh,
your
my
toes.
God.
Okay.
Did you just want to be closer to me?
That's it. It's all a ruse just to get closer to you.
Okay.
Okay.
That's way too close now.
You might be able to smell my morning breath.
I can.
now.
We did something exciting this week on Monday. And by the way, we recorded a podcast last week and I listened to it and I, just for the record so everyone knows why we're a week late in our podcast, fucking hated it. I went back and I listened to it and I loved the topic.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like my contribution at all.
Because it was the only contribution?
Bite me. You brought
You
up
were
a
on a roll.
topic. Well, you appreciated the role, I think, because you said you did multiple times. I listened to it twice. So basically 2 hours of
Are
listening
you sure
to
it's
it.
just because you didn't like hearing yourself?
You mean like the sound of my voice?
Or,
That never phases me.
no, not the sound of your voice. Just that you were the only one. You were dominating that podcast.
I know I probably talk more often than you do on this podcast. I don't like...
You talk more often in general in life. This podcast is a reflection of how many words are said throughout the day in real life. That's why you need another podcast, honey. You are a talker. You're a very, very good talker. And I love your talking. And I think
I wanted more opinions and experiences from you. That's what bothered me. I didn't mind...
What were we talking about again?
I'll bring it up in a second, but I wanted to, before we go there, two things. We didn't produce a podcast last week because I didn't like... Though you liked it, and even in the podcast,
we recorded it. You chose
I didn't
not
publish
to publish it, right?
Because we'll talk about the topic again. I didn't like how I thoroughly dominated the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
All the points I made, you agreed with, and we talked through, and it was worthy of being published. I just didn't like it because I like hearing more from you. So we're going to bring up the topic again. Are you undressing on the camera?
No, I'm just taking my sweater off. I got hot.
What are we doing? Nudeness right now. Our ratings just went up.
Hey, whatever it takes.
Oh my God. So to
What
anyone
did we
that
talk
was...
about again?
I'll get there.
Okay.
What we'll do this time is I want to ask more questions about what we talked about last week, so it's a more engaging dialogue and that I'm not going on rants. And I know that has a Scott Galloway flavor to it, and sometimes, like right now, those rants are worthwhile. I just ranted too much in a good way. It was all positive stuff. It wasn't, God damn it. It was very positive. I just felt I wanted to hear more from you, and I like your point of view. And I like your voice and your words. And so I wanted to hear more from you. So period. I didn't publish it. And that's my right.
Though, don't you think it's okay if an occasional podcast has you dominating the conversation and then maybe sometimes I'll dominate a conversation? Like when I told my sweaty story, I spoke most of the time.
I think also more people want to hear from... I don't know. Yes, I could... Sure. Yeah. I just didn't like it. Is that okay that I didn't publish it?
In my opinion, I believe you are just sensitive to maybe having people think that you didn't let me talk. I think that's what maybe you
very
were sensitive
to. No, I'm very sensitive. I don't... Well,
and
I
that's
just
not the
interrupted you.
case.
To be... Yeah. To be sure, I don't really care too much what people think because I know our relationship. And if you're uncomfortable, you're going to say something.
Mm-hmm.
And to anyone listening who thinks that this is some sort of old school male dominated misogynistic relationship, think again. I'm terrified of Kathy.
Just the way I like it.
We have a very healthy relationship and we listen exceptionally well. I was not afraid that some listener might say, you dominate.
Mm-hmm.
Then don't fucking listen.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I get, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just didn't, I wanted more opinion from you. I'll offer you this. If you, I should turn off my freaking ringer. If you
That ringer of yours,
if
Jack
you
Honar.
want to listen to the podcast and you tell me you like it, I'll republish it or I'll publish it. I don't mind putting it out there if you think it's okay. It was a good topic. We talked about The Secret and positive thinking
yes.
and all that. And so anyway, that's why we didn't publish last week's podcast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just felt I dominated. Second, how exciting was Monday for us?
Oh, Monday, yeah. We went
we
to get our marriage license
Mm-hmm.
at the city courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to raise our right hand.
Did you see me laughing during the whole
Jack
thing?
And
or
I
no?
were giggling.
Okay. I didn't know if you were laughing too because I had my right hand up. I'm like, are we really raising our right hand? I'm lying right now. I'm an atheist.
Exactly.
If she was going to tell me to put my hand on the Bible, I would have died.
Yeah. Well, we raise our right hand. She didn't mention God at all.
No, but it had a feeling of, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah, that's
right?
just,
I know.
you know, the ritual for, I wonder if you said, I'm not raising my hand, if she would have been like, oh, then.
Game over.
Yeah.
You're not getting married.
I wonder if anybody's ever done that. No, I'm not raising my hand. I'm not going through this stupid ritual.
Were you laughing? I couldn't tell. I kept looking at you, and you were so. Just so you know, from my point of view, you looked so serious. You were staring at the woman, and
you were probably laughing more, but I definitely had a giggle, like holy shit, and we left there going, we're really doing this.
No, you left there like that. I left there going, okay, we just got done. We're supposed to get done, and you were like,
of course.
Oh my. So for you, it's oh my God, I'm actually doing this. I'm hearing this now.
No, no, we had some giggles, like holy shit. We met three years and a few months ago through a dating app. For fuck's sake,
40
in
months
Chicago, and now we live together in Whitefish Bay with Wisconsin. And
what was that?
I don't know, with a southern lisp. Spontaneous lift.
We make lots of love.
and just like how this life we have built together, it's just crazy to think about how that happens, how quickly it happens, how bizarre it is of how we met and came together, and just how crazy it is that we found each other. And oh my God, it's just wild. And now we are sitting here at our podcast.
96th episode. If you count the last one, it was 97.
Yeah.
We're nearing 100 episodes.
That's crazy.
And we have zero money to show for it.
It's not the way we do it.
We are none the richer or wiser. It's the only reason to do anything. You know what I'm thinking of doing is actually taking this stuff with us to London.
Oh, yeah.
What would you think of?
Well, we definitely need a laptop. So if you want to bring this one.
This gear fits in a box, and these, you know, the only difference is I don't have a tool for this, but we can
build something up.
Well, I have little stands for the microphones that I could take that just sit down on a tabletop. So I'm thinking of bringing this. Them. You know, the issue is I got to make sure we have insurance on the luggage. Because this is a few bills.
Yeah.
But it really is crazy. And then on Threads, I read, you know, I've posted a couple of things about relationships. I think I told you about that on Threads, and the Jack and Kathy Shit Show Threads account, where people are talking about is dating this crazy and seems you can't find anybody. And I don't know how many times I tell you that I met some amazing, I'm sure you could say this too. You met some amazing men and you're dating, like really nice people probably, and whatever just didn't work.
Yeah.
I met some amazing women too that just didn't work. Some actually listened to the show, and have followed along, and which is really kind of cool. I am still stunned that we are where we are, and
I know. That's what I'm
and yet
saying.
it feels. I've never had something this easy in my life.
Right. It's all feels so natural.
Do you?
And so easy.
So I got a question for you, because if we were to be guests on a podcast, let me role play a little bit, and not the kind of role playing we did last night, which was really funny. Where you got that Princess Leia uniform or outfit, I don't know. I didn't like that you wanted me to be Jabba the Hutt. I'm a little offended.
I don't know where you got that. Like
that big fat belly I have. So, no, truly, I want to.
That French maid outfit you were sporting was real
That's
nice.
awful. It's all they had available in the store.
You wore it well.
To everyone listening, my daughter is having a Halloween party. The kid can't go trick-or-treating, but they want to have a little party, and I told her we were going to get dressed up, and I told her how I said to you, Leia, let's go as Shrek and Fiona, and you went, oh my God, that's great. And I had to remind you.
I'll be Shrek, you be Fiona.
No, I said you have to go as the Fiona, as an ogre though, not the Princess Fiona.
Okay.
Right? So that we're both ogres.
Okay,
and
I will.
And Alex started laughing. She goes, oh, I could see Kathy being the princess and you just having a green face on.
What
Anyway.
color is Princess Fiona's hair? She's
Red.
blonde, right?
Red.
Oh, red.
Red
Okay,
hair,
I'd
yeah.
need a red wig. Oh, that's perfect.
No, you're going as the ogre. We're both going. No, stop it. Stop it. Though I could talk like Shrek.
I'll be so
Though
cute.
to be true, I could talk like Shrek. Ah, donkey. Ogres have layers. Onions have layers. Pretty good, isn't it?
It is good.
Thank you.
Is that Mike Myers?
It is.
Oh,
Eddie Murphy's the donkey.
yeah.
And then Cameron Diaz is Fiona.
Fiona.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think John Lithgow is Lord Farquhar. just fucking great. What a great show. Do you know Sam couldn't watch Shrek, by the way, my son Sam? Because it freaked him out. The ogre scared the shit out of him.
Really?
It came out when he was really little. So he couldn't watch Shrek. Whenever Shrek came on the screen, he'd start to cry and run away. Oh, it's fucking hilarious. Anyway,
Oh, that's so
I want to get slightly back on track, but I feel like this is a topic I want to go down with you today. So I want to do this. Do you want me to publish the podcast even though I felt I talked too much? Do you felt it was a good podcast because of the message? Because it was very positive.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay,
I mean,
then
if you want me to listen to it first, I pretty much, sit down, record my part, and then walk away because you do literally everything. So,
Okay. Then
but if you want me to listen to it first,
no,
I liked it, and it was very.
Oh, there it is, right?
It was very poignant. I brought it up because I had been. Just a quick little recap. I had been feeling, shall we say, negative about, business and where business is going to come from. A little worrying about money for myself, and you said we're going to go watch The Secret. And it really helped. It really did. So it was about that and the message in The Secret. And the show is corny as heck the way it's produced. It's like
may I ask
eye
you?
rolling, but
I want to ask you a question then. So what I'll do is I'm going to publish that one, and then I'll publish this one maybe a day later. Okay. So they can have some sort of sequence to them.
sure.
So people can understand now why we're talking about what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's now presume it's published. One of the biggest things I felt from you, and I know I talked about it, was you living in lack.
Mm-hmm.
And that's different than you having a positive outlook. I just feel that, do you feel you understood the difference between you can be positive and still live in lack?
Do I understand the difference between being positive and living in lack? Well, are you at all making a distinction between what I project onto myself compared to what I project onto others?
Well, sort of. Like, for example, and I know I might be redundant to the podcast, what I see in you is things like, it's going to be okay. I mean, I know I got a knife in my back, but it's fine. It's fine. And that...
Okay, let's not use that voice when you're imitating me.
Okay.
It's going to be okay.
No, well, I mean... Okay.
That is so dismissive when you use that voice.
What I'm
imitate
getting at
me.
is that I feel that in the last week or two since we recorded the podcast, I've seen a change in you.
Yes.
It's not, I hope things will get better and I'm gonna count on things to get better. It's, I believe things are gonna get better. And that's where I say you can have this kind of hopeful, positive thing, but you're still living in lack because you don't believe it. And so living in lack may be a really strong word, but maybe there's degrees of that, right? And so I feel you're no longer hopeful of things happening.
If I may add,
Yeah.
waves of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel you've stopped over the last week saying things like, I think this might happen, but I don't know. And it's almost like I'm going to try to hedge my bets positively. And the point I want to make to you is it's not about hedging your bets, right? Because that's an insulator.
Yeah. No, it really is a belief. And first of all, thank you, honey. First of all, I love being positive. I love feeling positive. I love being happy. And I have definite moments where I would dip very, very low when it comes to money. Like, money worries me. I want to remain I'm so grateful to have you as a partner. And I also want to always pay my own way. And so it really worries me. I'm not, entering this relationship expecting you to provide for me, right? So business and real estate has been challenging. And I have really, really low days where money is worrying me. So watching The Secret, and I do believe in this, like what I believe for myself. And the key word is belief. It's not just be positive.
That's what I'm
getting at. It truly is the belief in it. And that resonated with me. And I had kind of watched The Secret before, but hadn't watched the whole thing through, probably because I was too critical of the corny production of it all and distracted from the message,
so
But yeah, the production is stupid. And but kudos to them. And I truly took away from it, I believe, the true intention, and that is to truly believe. And I swear to you, this sounds so crazy, but it was either the next day or the day after that I got a check in the mail.
It was the next day.
It was only for like $86 because the first one from when they ran an episode of my Chicago Fire. So I did an episode of Chicago Fire.
That was the first check, and then 2 days later.
Season 7, episode 7. For any of you that want to watch. It's about a minute and a half.
You were very good.
And I have many lines. And I was brilliant, like Academy Award winning.
How come you can talk about yourself that way in that tone, but I can't? You just did the same thing that I do.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Yeah, because I can do that for
and
myself.
Carry on.
And anyway, so I got a check in the mail for $86, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. And then a couple days later, I got a check in the mail for $2,000 for my profit share. And
it's better than profit share. It's that you have people that worked for you at another real estate agency, and so you get what's called downstream income. It's essentially
they call
referral,
it profit share.
Right? But essentially, it's referrals.
Yeah,
or people that you worked with were part of your group. And I had said to you that if you believe you're going to have bills and nothing but pain, then that's all you're going to see. If you believe that money's going to come in the door, it will come in the door the very next day. You wake up in the morning, you go, I know what I want now. I want this, this, and this, and I believe this, and this is going to happen relative to our house, our life together. And my eyes just bug out because I went, holy fuck, there it is. Because, again, if you've listened to the last podcast, I shifted my life and said, I believe things are going to happen for me. And next thing you know, I'm playing Taste of Chicago. I'm losing weight. Like, you still have to step into life. But anyway, you said, I'm going to change everything. The very next day, a check comes. 2 days later, a bigger check comes. A client calls you up and says, I think I want to list now. You go and meet with her yesterday.
Yes.
It's not.
That's what I was going to say. And I have a listing coming up when I come back from, and it's like, So it's really, really great. And I have found myself having conversations with people like my daughter, who is saying, there's this job opportunity. I hope I get it. And I said, stop right there. So the turn of phrase, I hope I get it, is, and I recognize it as such, as living in lack. You are going to get it. So I have that conversation. And then I was talking to Nancy in New Zealand about a topic, and I shared with her that I just watched The Secret, and she had watched it. I think she's watched it a few times herself, but she said to me, you know what? Thank you for the reminder of The Secret. I'm going to go watch it. And then yesterday on the phone with my girlfriend Lisa, talking about The Secret, because she owns a building and a salon, and she's looking to find someone to fill a chair, and she's been advertising for it and trying to manifest it, and nothing's materialized. And so we talked about The Secret, and of course she's like, oh, I've watched it 1,000,000 times. So she was quite familiar. But point being, I find myself having those conversations now about truly believing, and it feels, let me just say, it feels so much better. And I'm sure it's more fun to be around as a partner, like being around somebody positive instead of somebody negative.
Well, and it's, if I can just keep leaning into this positive negative thing, when, for example, in talking to Mac, I don't know if she ever listens to this podcast. If she does, I'd like her to hear this, because here's my point of view on the discussion. It's not that job that she's trying to get. If she wants a job that has these types of attributes, right? This one that she's interviewing may not be the job, but it's the belief that I'm going to get the job that I want, right? It may not be this one. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get this job that I want. And the job that I want looks like this.
Yeah.
Right? It has these attributes. That's the vision, right? I'm going to find, I'm going to segue now. I'm going to find a relationship where someone really adores me.
Yeah.
And wants to be with me. And the relationship looks this way. I believe I'm going to get that.
I hope you find that.
Thank you. I do too.
I want that for you.
Thank you. For now, I'm just in my sexual experimentation
now you'll just settle
phase.
for me.
I'm in my sexual release
until
phase.
that comes along.
I've said it twice now. Nothing. Just bypass it.
That's right. I just talk over it.
Mac, if you're listening, it's not that job that you're going to get. It's the job that you want. And when you believe that I'm going to get that job, if you miss that particular job, that wasn't it. It's the job, and you're going to keep going after it, and you're going to find it. If you believe you're going to find it, you may actually take a job and it's not quite it. You're like, nope, that wasn't it. And your brain goes, I'm going to get the thing that I want. I'm going to get that Yeti e-bike that I want. I'm going to have it. Right. And so you put your energy and resources toward it. Next thing you know, I'm going to get a phone call from somebody who says, hey, I'm selling this Yeti half off because I'm trying to get something else. Oh, fucking hey, let's make this work. That's it. Right. Do you get that? Okay. So now I want to segue, which I think is really interesting. I knew what I wanted in a partner. And so I had said a few minutes ago, and I want to if we had sponsors, it'd be a great time for a commercial right now. Oh, I wish we had. Let's pretend. Okay, now we're back.
We will have sponsors.
For sure. You're right. Correct. God,
see?
Good job. Oh, just snapped me
we
at my own game.
We don't have sponsors yet.
Just snapped me at my own game.
That's right.
You're good. Damn it. I created a monster. So I said earlier that I wanted to ask you a question as if we were being interviewed, and I'm curious how you would answer it. So let me do the setup. I knew what I wanted in a relationship all along. And when I got back from my sojourn across the country and came back and then eventually met you, I don't know if it was luck or serendipity or the secret or a combination of all of the above, including my now belief change, which was that I am the common denominator. And if I want what I want, I got to put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to change me.
Yeah.
And then within 5 dates, by the way, I had the same attitude prior to meeting you. I'm like, oh, she was nice, but keep going. And then in 5 dates, I meet you. So now we're at an interview. Okay. That's all that context. How did you guys make this happen? And what advice would you give to someone who wants to have what we have?
Oh. All I can speak to is what we experienced, right? Or what I experienced. All I can speak to is what I experienced, what was in my head. And I will say that I was very clear. Oh, that might be a lie. I was somewhat clear on because I often say I didn't even imagine that a relationship could be this good, like what you and I share. I knew I wanted for more. I knew I wanted communication. I knew I wanted a partner who wanted to do things with me. I knew I wanted somebody that was active. I knew I wanted somebody of a similar age. And so like some of those boxes I knew I wanted to check. And I knew I wanted to laugh with someone. And so when I met you the first time and many of those boxes were checked, all those boxes were checked, I thought, holy shit, I have found something. That being said, it doesn't work unless the other person is willing to show up in the same way. So I could have checked all my boxes and felt like I found my life partner, but there's one big box that remains unchecked if the other person is not reciprocating and showing up in the same way. So if you want a relationship to work, both you and your partner have to make an honest commitment to make this relationship work. And you and I have done that. You and I have done the work. We have had bumps in the road where we feel like our wheels have completely fallen off. And we're like, you know what? We both want to put these wheels back on. Even though in this moment of this disconnect, we feel like they aren't going to fit again. We have put them back on. We have done the work. We have had the deep conversations. We have had our implosions where the dust settles and we reboot. And we've even gone to a therapist a handful of times. And we're getting better too. So we didn't come into this relationship being perfect. We just checked a lot of the boxes, but not all the boxes. And a relationship that's going to work needs both parties to show up and both parties to be committed to being better every time. And that's what I feel I found in you and us. And that's something I could not have imagined because I had never experienced before. I had to live it and trust in it and trust in you. And sometimes I feel like I just got lucky. We just got lucky in that we found each other. And you know, that you are as deeply committed to this as I am. So those are my thoughts off the surface on.
Let me ask
so
you.
I don't know if that's an answer for somebody. I don't know if it's I just do, Kathy said we do step 1, step 2, step 3, and we find a relationship. There's some that is sort of I want to say almost ethereal to making it work. It's like not a tangible checklist all the time. It is trust and faith and a belief and so there. Thoughts?
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to ask you another question, and that is about. Let me give you another set of context here, or piece of context. I was listening to some stuff for Sam to try to find some things for him because he's embarking on a potential music career in addition to some of his other work. And this guy was talking about if I had advice to anyone trying to be in the entertainment industry, particularly with AI, and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now. He said a big part of being an actor or a musician or a writer or producer is luck. That you happen to be in the right place at the right time and someone takes an interest in you. And so then the guy went on to say, can you, someone asked him, well, can you generate luck? And then he goes, I guess you can by simply being present as often as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're out there doing things, you might, and this is the secret, isn't it?
Yeah.
You might run into something that you didn't otherwise think could have existed because you're out there. And so I'm curious your point of view on luck relative to our relationship and what role you feel that played and its significance. Because I have to tell you, I look at it and go, was I lucky? Or was I prepared? Was I learned? Meaning I now realized what I actually wanted and wasn't going to stop looking for it. Was I active? Was I out there in the marketplace so I can meet someone like you? I could have declined going on that date with you and I could still be trying to find a life partner.
Mm-hmm.
What's your view on luck?
I've used that word before. You and I have discussed how we both feel lucky. But if I take a step back from that concept, I can recognize that both of us were persistent. We put ourselves out there. We weren't sitting at home waiting for luck to knock on the door, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were active. We were focused. We were on those damn dating apps trying to make something happen, searching. And believe me, it's exhausting. And I was about to bail. I was like, this is bullshit. It all seems to unfold the same way. But we pursued it. And then the reason we are working is not luck. The reason you and I are working and why we're getting married is because we are committed to making this work. That is conscious effort, conscious action to be better and to grow and to support each other. I mean, that's not an accident. We are each other's biggest advocate and biggest cheerleader and biggest support system. And we've become best friends. And that is an active, conscious effort, and that's not luck. So I don't know if that answers it. Like I say, I use the word luck, but then I step away from it when I really step back and look at how things unfolded, that we were actively making the effort.
Isn't there a saying that says luck is where preparation meets opportunity? I mean, that's an old saying somebody said.
I guess I never would have remembered that saying, but it sounds
luck
familiar.
Luck is where preparation meets opportunity. I mean, was Sam lucky that Maryland picked him up? You could say that, but Sam also had a hell of a fucking game against Maryland when he played for Iowa.
Well, and he was active in making that
actively,
opportunity happen. He put himself into the portal. Nobody coached him on that and told him what to do. He was focused on I deserve more. I want more. I have worked for more, and I'm not getting it in the place and the situation with the coaches and the team that I have right now.
Yep.
I've got something. I could settle for it and maybe be happy in my last year, but I deserve more. And he went and got it. He made that happen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so was there some luck involved? He got to Iowa because a guy that he knew at his junior college happened to know someone in Iowa, and they said, we'll take a look at Sam.
Mm-hmm.
So was he fortunate that he had the connection? Of course. But that's how the secret, full circle, that's how the secret works.
Mm-hmm.
It puts things in front of you and goes, dude, I'm giving you the roadmap. For example, your client out of nowhere texted you hadn't talked to her in a while, and said, hey, I'm getting all these things about X relative to real estate. And you and I sat down and talked, and you had several options in front of you. And because, like you just said, I'm a huge fan of you, and I support you. Remember what I said? Call her, set up a meeting. Don't waste any time. The secret is telling you to go meet with this person. She reached out to you and you have a choice. You could text her a response, meet with her in person, share this stuff with her, make her feel confident with you, right? The secret was telling you, I'm giving you a chance to do something here.
Yeah.
And you could ignore it or not. So I don't know that we were lucky, and yet I feel really lucky. And at the same time, I really want to lean back on Bella Gandhi, who we bring up often on this podcast, is that I went into meeting with you, and I'm curious, I know you now know of Bella because we talk about it, but I went into that thinking, I'm going to be myself here and get to see who she is as a person. And if she doesn't check boxes as a person, I couldn't care less what she thinks of me. Were you worried about what I thought of you on our first date? Or were you trying to get to know me?
I wish I could say I wasn't, but
okay.
but I think I am somebody that probably spends too much time worrying about what people think of me and trying to do the right thing.
Definitely
and
more
I'm
than
trying
me.
to outgrow that. For sure.
I don't think that's a bad quality. It's who you are.
Well, I mean, it's a fine line, I think, between when you start compromising
correct. That's
something in yourself because you're
perfect.
Trying to be perfect for somebody else.
That's right.
You know, and I'm sure I have done that plenty of times.
Not with me.
And so maybe I was concerned about what you thought of me, but at the same time, that first date of ours was very easy. That's a very dominant word. It wasn't, I think we had chemistry together for sure. But the dominant word was not, oh my gosh, I'm so attracted to him. That was fun. That was easy. We laughed the entire time. And for me, that's a really great first step of a foundation. Because the rest can be born out of that. So, I think many people, I might be getting off topic here, but many people follow the attraction meter first, like the physical attraction, like, oh, I'm really drawn to that person. And I'm telling you, we definitely had some of that in the beginning, that first date. But really what has come out of our relationship in terms of how close we feel and how that physical attraction has grown because of the foundation of our relationship is profound. And I think the connection as people and all that we have in common and how easy it was to be with you was a foundation that I really, really appreciated and recognized on that first date.
The attraction meter was the lowest thing on my list that night.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't let you touch me. You tried to, I don't know.
Well, I wasn't making a move. I kind of just tapped your
at
shoulder or your leg
wanted,
or something like that.
You wanted to touch my leg or something.
To say something. You moved away quickly. And I went, all right,
I moved my stool over. I was like, no, we're not.
Well, but I hope that wasn't a play. That was just more, I felt comfortable with you.
I think you were trying to have that physical touch. You were.
Well, but physical touch is important, but I wasn't trying to make a move to get you in bed. Did you feel that? That's what I was trying to do?
I think that's what all men do in the beginning.
I don't care about all men. You know I wasn't trying to do that.
No, I mean, it's clear now that
I felt
that
very
wasn't
close to
that
you.
wasn't your motivation.
It wasn't
you weren't out on that on the date
it
with
wasn't,
me just
it wasn't
to
the physical stuff.
Get laid that
was
night or
late
something.
in the evening because I felt really close to you. I felt like you were. At one point, I just wanted to put my arm around you and have you rest your head on my shoulder because I felt that close to you, especially when we were, because the topics range from silly and goofy to emotional. But physical attraction was not on my list that night.
Yeah.
It was, I just enjoyed our conversation. And so everyone knows if the question were to be thrown at me by an interview person, I feel we were lucky. And I also feel we were prepared. And that's why I lean on Bella Gandhi's stuff, that I really finally knew after being in some relationships what I needed. And so I just went into it going, I know what I need and I know what I'm going to look for. And I'm looking for the person first and not the attraction. And that's what happened. And I saw you. In fact, I'm going to tell you something that you're going to punch me in the nuts for. But when we were driving around trying to find your condo or your Airbnb,
Yeah.
I started laughing to myself at that moment. I went, she's showing you who she is. She's not good with directions. Never, ever give her shit about this. Because we were driving and you're going, I think it's right here and I think it's right there. And we were going all over the place. It's still you to this day. Right? But you showed me who you were and I went, don't care. Does that make sense what I'm saying to you? I really looked at you that whole night. I saw everything about you that night.
Mm-hmm.
I saw things that might challenge me. I saw things that I was admiring. We're not perfect in any way.
Not even close.
I have challenged the shit out of you on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yet we both see one another.
Yeah.
That to me is the biggest difference.
Yeah.
We each saw one another and said, like Brene Brown likes to say, I don't like you despite the things I disagree with. I like you because of them.
Mm. Yeah.
Because I see the totality of you.
Right.
The things that challenge me and the things that inspire me.
Yeah.
And I felt that the moment I met you.
Mm-hmm. Same.
You let me rant on a phone call before our first date about working from home. And I felt seen by you because you gave me space to do it.
I do remember thinking,
he's intense.
That's a interesting topic for someone to
talk about on
a first phone call. Yeah.
But I wasn't afraid to be myself.
Right.
And when I can't do this, you were talking about work from home and how you can't stand going to an office and you wish you didn't have to. And then I went on a rant like Scott Galloway going,
Mm-hmm.
work from home is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Am I boring you?
No.
No.
No, not at all.
I've been watching and reading so many things on Thread and been responding to people, and everyone tries to give very tactical advice, right? And I've said nothing but two things. Please read Bella Gandhi's stuff and do what she says regarding the list. Here's that link because she has it on her website. And know that the only common denominator in any of your relationships is you. And if you want things to be different, you have to change.
Mm-hmm.
You can't expect others to show up differently. You have to look at things differently.
Right.
And I've just wanted to ask you about this, given that we're getting closer to a marriage date that seems as natural as air to me. I was laughing when we were raising our hand. Nothing feels more normal in my life than this relationship. And it's allowed me to become someone I used to be, that I used to like. My cousin Susan said to me a little while after my divorce, she goes, oh my God, I finally got my cousin back. I don't know if you had quite the metamorphosis in your life as I did, but I just wanted to talk to you about this topic. You seem to have floated away. I seem to have lost you.
No, not at all. Very present.
All right.
Good stuff.
Let's wrap.
Yeah, that's the follow-up to a little segue from the previous episode that you're going to post.
Well, and I wanted to talk to you today about the Threads thing that I've been reading about. So many people in their 50s getting divorced, going, it's brutal out there. I'm about ready to give up. And I almost wanted to say, if you give up, you'll get exactly what you expected. You're not going to find anybody.
Right.
So stay at it. It's grueling. Take a break from it if you need to, right? We both did.
Excuse me.
I took months off from dating.
Yeah.
I took a break from it. There's nothing wrong with taking a break, right?
We've talked about this before, that I truly believe a good suggestion, not a surefire way, but in an effort to try to meet people, engage in life, not just the dating apps, but engage in life,
for sure.
Doing things that you are interested in. So if you love bike riding, you love ceramics, you love book club, you love traveling, you love music, you love art, go be intentional in putting yourself out there in the world to experience those things and engage in those things that involve other people, and you end up meeting like-minded people.
But would you
with
agree?
Similar interests.
Okay, would you agree if you go into it with the belief that this will lead to something? Like if you go into it with the belief in the outcome, I don't think you get the outcome.
No, of course.
If you go into it going, I'm going to learn more about myself. I'm going to learn how to interact with people who might be different than me. When I lived in Arizona, all I met were diehard, strong, right-wing, intense people that I do not agree with. And I found myself mountain biking and hanging out with these people, and it challenged me. And they end up learning to respect me and me them, and it felt civil. So I agree with you that if you're going to go to those things and become social in different worlds other than the dating apps, it's not with the intent of, if I go grocery shopping, I will therefore find him. It's, if I go grocery shopping, I'll learn more about myself. I'll learn how to interact with other people. I'll learn more about me, because I'm the common fucking denominator.
Yeah.
And I got to get better at me.
Yeah.
We're getting married in less than 10 days.
Right.
It's fucking crazy. We have a house together 3 years in.
Yep.
We make love twice a day, every day.
Okay, Jack O'Neill.
That last one was true, by the way.
Yes.
It wasn't.
We got something to talk about, because I'm not present for all of
Right.
this. So
well, that's belief. I'm imagining it.
you're manifesting. It's a secret.
Hasn't quite happened yet. I just wanted to say I truly like this relationship.
I love this relationship.
Stop it. I like it too. Bite me. I just feel it happened because we kept staying in the game and being true to ourselves. Ultimately being true to ourselves. We let go of things that were not true to ourselves.
Yeah.
And we got lucky because we were in the game. And I am so grateful for you.
As I am you, babe.
You know that.
Yes, I do.
So grateful.
I do. You make me feel that every day. I'm very, I'm profoundly grateful for you too. And we've spoken about this, we never want to take each other for granted. We want a deep appreciation of each other every single day.
Yeah, it doesn't mean we don't have our disagreements or arguments and shit, because we're human beings.
Yeah, sometimes you get it wrong.
I do, yes. Sometimes I do get it wrong. On that note, we love these card decks from the Skin Deep. Highly encourage you go to their Insta, their Stagra, the Skin Deep. They have a bunch of card decks, and we continue to use them to get to know one another, despite the fact that we are together.
We're still
24/7.
We're still in the amusing edition.
I want to stay in this one. Is that okay? Keep going through this
good.
box. All right, you go first, lover. And so we ask each other questions at the end of every podcast. Most people take off at this point.
Can you tell I'm sweaty?
Yeah, what's wrong? You nervous?
I don't know.
Feels good though.
Stop it.
Go ahead.
All right. What do you believe is absolutely true about me? What do you believe is absolutely true about me? Interesting question.
That's sexy.
Well, duh.
What do I believe is absolutely true about you is that you have an enormous fucking heart. That is the truest thing about you. You are as genuinely loving a person as I've ever met in my entire life.
Aw.
You have the biggest heart, and you genuinely, truly care about people.
That's so sweet. Thank you. That's a beautiful thing to be known for to me. Thank you.
That is absolutely true about you.
Thank you, babe.
And?
Oh, do you want me to answer it for you?
No, let me keep going. And?
And you find me very sexy, which is all I need.
I love your heart.
Thank you.
And I often do a what would Kathy do when I feel myself going, fuck that, going to beat the shit out of this guy or a person in this situation. I often ask myself, how can I lead with love? Because that's truly what you do every day.
Thank you.
That is your greatest superpower.
Thank you.
You are fucking amazing.
Thank you. Thank you, honey.
Okay, my turn.
That's beautiful.
I mean it.
Yeah.
You know
I
I mean
appreciate
it.
that. I do know you mean that. It's not the first time you've said it to me, so thank you.
Who are your 3 biggest mentors and what do you learn from each one?
So this is about me again.
Who are your 3 biggest mentors and what do you learn from each one? So, you answer it, yeah?
So
I haven't, I'm going to see if I can guess them, but go ahead.
So when I was young, I think I've told you this story. When I was young and very impressionable, I met my dear friend Carrie. And Carrie at that time she was modeling. She had traveled to Japan a number of times. She was just really fiercely independent. I witnessed somebody who had incredible instincts and an incredible read on people. And I really consider her an early mentor in my life. And we've grown and we stand side by side now. In the beginning, she was definitely a guiding force. And I truly believe that I wouldn't be where I am today without her. Second person is my girlfriend, Jenny, who has been a touchstone for me and also a real guide in life. And to be sure, thank goodness you turned that ringer off, because that would have been
fucking moment. Go ahead.
But also somebody that if I'm floating up off of the earth, she grounds me again, so those things are very important to me. And now fast forward to you being in my life. You are definitely a mentor in my life. I turn to you first for everything now. And you guide me, you nurture me, you take care of me. I know I will always get great advice. I know you are objective and I trust you. And I think you are a great thinker. I love your moral compass, which often rubs other people the wrong way when you call them out on things. And I just, I see the kind of father you are and how you guide your children and your vulnerability, how you know full well what your assets are and your strengths, but you also wear your weaknesses on your sleeve as well, and can fully acknowledge and own the times that you get it wrong, and and so I'd say those are the 3 people: Carrie, Jenny, and you. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And it's over time, it's like I can't imagine finding a mentor beyond us, because you and I are such a force together, and our union is so strong that I hope we're together until the end of our lives, both of us. So that's it.
Wow.
Okay.
So liked this podcast more
than the other one that you rejected.
Well, it's posted now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it is.
Well,
okay.
I mean,
it's going to be.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you know why?
Because I talked more.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I like listening to you.
Well, thanks, babe.
I
like
talk
listening
too
to you.
much.
And if occasionally there's a podcast where the string of Jack's kite left my hand and it floated around in the sky, and just, is it ever coming down, you think? Oh, there it is.
That's the best.
There it is.
Analogy.
I think it's in Illinois now.
Stuck in a tree somewhere.
Oh, look at it. It's traveling over Lake Michigan.
It's a great analogy. The string of Jack. Kite leaves my hands. Oh my God. I am never talking again on this podcast. Ever.
That's okay. Because eventually the wind will die and you'll come back down. And then I just have to go find you.
Well, on that beautiful note,
All right.
really enjoyed talking about this today. So I really mean it. I don't know if anyone else is going to listen for an hour, but I loved talking about it with you.
That was great. Thank you, babe.
Rock and roll, babe.
All right.
On that note, peace.
You just listened to another episode of the Jack and Kathy Shit Show. All recording, engineering, and production provided by us. Connect with the podcast on Instagram at Jack and Kathy Shit Show for more insight into our shit show of a life. This episode is proudly brought to you by Pint Productions.
Point.